was a perfect day for boating. Sunny skies, calm water, and a slight breeze. We were cruising along, laughing and enjoying the day, when suddenly a thick fog rolled in out of nowhere. It was so dense that we could barely see each other, let alone the water or the shore. The GPS stopped working, and our phones lost signal. We had no idea where we were. My friend Mark, who was steering the boat, tried to keep calm, but I could see the fear in his eyes. The fog seemed almost alive, swirling around us like it was trying to swallow the boat whole. Then we heard it, a distant splash, like something massive had just fallen into the water. But we couldn't see anything. The splashing grew louder, closer, as if something was circling us. We tried to move the boat, but the engine sputtered and died. We were dead in the water, trapped in this eerie fog with something out there. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a shadowy figure standing on the water, just a few feet away from the boat. It was a woman, or at least it looked like one. Her face was pale, almost translucent, and her eyes were hollow. She just stood there, staring at us with this haunting, sorrowful look. We were paralyzed with fear. Suddenly, she let out a blood-curdling scream, and the boat started rocking violently, like it was being shaken by an unseen force. We clung to the sides, trying not to fall overboard. The woman disappeared, and the fog began to lift, but the damage was done. When the fog cleared completely, we found ourselves in the middle of the lake, miles from where we had been. The engine roared back to life on its own, and we sped back to the dock as fast as we could. None of us said a word. We just wanted to get out of there. Later, we found out that Lake Lanier is known for strange phenomena. People drowning in shallow water, boats capsizing without reason, and ghostly apparitions. They say the lake was built over an old cemetery, and the spirits of those buried there are restless, haunting the waters. I'm not sure what we saw that day, but I know one thing: I'll never go back to that lake again. We set out early in the morning, just before dawn. The sky was still dark, and the bay was calm. Perfect conditions for fishing. We were about 5 miles offshore when we spotted something strange in the distance. At first, it looked like an old wooden schooner just drifting aimlessly on the water. As we got closer, we noticed the ship was in terrible condition. Rotting wood, torn sails, and covered in barnacles. It looked like it had been abandoned for years. But then we saw movement, figures, shadowy and indistinct, moving across the deck. It was impossible. No one could be on that ship. It should have sunk long ago. My uncle, being the curious type, decided to get closer, even though I begged him not to. When we were just a few yards away, the air grew icy cold, and a thick fog started to surround us. The figures on the ship became more clear. They were sailors, or at least they had been. Their faces were gaunt, their eyes hollow and lifeless. They moved in slow, jerky motions like puppets on strings. One of them, the captain, by the looks of his feathered uniform, turned and stared directly at us. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. Then, all at once, the sailors let out a guttural moan, a sound that seemed to come from the depths of hell itself. The ship started moving towards us, picking up speed as if it was coming alive. Panic set in. My uncle tried to start the engine, but it wouldn't turn over. We were sitting ducks, with this ghost ship bearing down on us. Just when I thought we were done for, the ship passed right through us, like it wasn't even there. The fog lifted as quickly as it had come, and the ship vanished. All that was left was an eerie silence. We sat there in shock, not sure what had just happened. When we finally got the engine started, we sped back to shore without saying a word. Later, we found out that many years ago a ship had gone down in that part of the bay during a storm, taking all its crew with it. Some say their spirits still sail the waters, searching for the shore they'll never reach. I'll never forget the look on that captain's face, the sorrow and the anger, and the emptiness. I haven't been out on the bay since. I don't think I ever will again. Some things are better left alone.